Time and time again, we've heard people say Rome is too crowded, too touristy, too much. But I'm here to tell you, if you do it right, Rome is one of the most unforgettable cities in the world. After 5 visits to Rome, we've cracked the code on how to see her at her best, how to skip the crowds, find the best food,
This is food coming directly from the gods.
and avoid the mistakes most travelers make. So let's dive right into the best 2 days in Rome.
Buongiorno, we got an early start today here at the Trevi Fountain.
The first time we ever came here, it was the middle of the afternoon. It was so packed with people. It was honestly a little bit disappointing. The best tip I can possibly give you if you want to come to Rome is to make a habit out of getting up early. So what you're supposed to do here is kast het toin in for good luck, but there's a rule. You have to put it in your right hand and you have to toss it over your left shoulder and you can make your wish.
The fountain is emptied regularly. They collect all the coins in there and then donate it to charity. It's about 1.5 million euros a year. I'm gonna come back tonight with my snorkel.
Right around the corner from the fountain is this beautiful little Italian bakery. The cornettos here look straight out of a dream. Chocolate and pistachio. It looks good, but it tastes even better. And now we're gonna go to one of my favorite spots in all of Rome. Despite the fact that the Pantheon is older than the Colosseum, it's actually not in ruins. It's still in its original state, the way it was back in the days of the Roman Empire. And I just think that that's super cool because you can walk inside here and actually have the same experience that the ancient Romans did. The Pantheon started as a pagan temple but was then converted into a church and is actually still active. There are still services held here to this day.
Can you imagine that this is still the original marble floor from 2000 years ago? This is the same stones Roman emperors used to walk on. You're practically Kim Caesar walking here. That's a hole in the ceiling. That's the only light that's here. And if it rains, they made some hidden drainage holes, so it's all good. Weirdly enough, it's best to not buy your ticket in advance because the queue to get in when you already have a ticket is longer than the queue on the right side where you buy tickets with your credit card. Keep that in mind.
Now come a little bit closer for this. We were just on our way to the Colosseum and we passed by Roscioli, which is supposed to be some of the best pizza al taglio, pizza by the slice in all of Rome. They have these really big rectangular slabs with all different kinds of toppings and you can just see what looks good and then mix and match a little bit of everything. This is their pizza margherita. But I think this one in particular looks so good. Got some smoked cheese on there and then some prosciutto, some very thinly sliced Italian ham. Cheers! This is the perfect pizza when you have fear of commitment. You don't have to commit to a full pizza in one flavor, you can just try one of everything.
It's nice and crunchy.
Now it's time for one of the best spots you can possibly visit in Rome. Today the Colosseum is a world wonder, a photo stop. But 2,000 years ago, this was the most terrifying arena on Earth. 50,000 people would come watch the games at the Colosseum. Not sports games, but gladiators fighting to the death. These matches were brutal.
And what's really cool is that beneath the floor they had 36 trap doors and lifts where they could just hoist up wild animals or a bunch of gladiators.
Sometimes they'd even flood the arena to give the crowd full-on naval battles. 80% of the people you see around here are all on guided tours, and that's because there are no signs with explanations, there are no exhibitions. So if you come here on your own, you won't really know what you're looking at or where to go once you enter the tour that we're on right now. We booked it through Get Your Guide. It's 2 to 2.5 hours with a wonderful guide called Alice.
Do you remember who was Julius Caesar? The guy of the salad. He was a dictator.
The Roman emperors were the ones who paid for the games at the Colosseum. If you give the masses blood and spectacle, they'll forget about small stuff like taxes, corruption, and war. Most of the gladiators were slaves or prisoners of war. They weren't exactly doing this kind of stuff voluntarily, but there were some who were kind of like high-stakes professional athletes.
Imagine that every time Lionel Messi lost a match, he would just be decapitated.
I bet he would play better though.
Woo!
Best part about this tour is that a skip the line ticket is included, which means you get to skip these massive queues. Nobody wants to spend 2 hours of their holiday standing in this line in the scorching sun. So do yourself a favor and just get a tour that includes the skip the line. I'll link ours in the description box below.
We have come to Tomarello, which is one of the most popular restaurants in Rome. It's over 100 years old. This is cacio e pepe, my personal favorite here in Rome. It's called cacio e pepe because it means cheese and pepper. And that's the only thing that's on there, so it's a very, very simple dish. This is food coming directly from the gods.
This restaurant has over 80,000 reviews on Google, so we had to come and check it out. This is a pasta amatriciana, which is with guanciale, tomato sauce, and just the cheese, and I'm already happy just smelling this. So of course, in this video, we want to show you all of the best spots in Rome, but we also want to show you how beautiful and magical Rome can be when you go to some of the hidden gems. There's over 900 churches in Rome. It is one of the most opulent churches I have ever seen. As soon as you come inside, it hits you, it's gold everywhere. It is not going to be in any top 10 videos, but it's absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I do feel like I have to manage your expectations a little bit. If you ever find yourself in Rome, there are lots of ways to avoid the crowd, like getting up early in the morning, buying skip-the-line tickets, but at some point, you're gonna hit them. All those other millions of people that will be in Rome during your visit. Right now we're at the Spanish Steps, a beautiful, famous spot in Rome, and all of Rome has come out here to admire it. We got this right around the corner at Vinci, which is kind of our favorite spot in town.
Yeah.
All the flavors are just amazing, everything we had so far.
Our guide at Colosseum had a little local tip. She said local Italians have their ice cream with doppio panna. Panna is whipped cream, doppio is double. There's whipped cream on top, but there's also whipped cream in the cone.
There it is, whipped cream on the bottom as well. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Between 6 and 8 p.m. a very special ritual unfolds here in Italy. And involves my favorite things, which are alcohol and fruits. So dinner in Italy actually starts at 8 p.m. usually. From 6 to 8 p.m. it is aperitivo time. This is one of the most popular ones, which is Aperol Spritz, kind of sweet and bitter liqueur that's topped with Prosecco and some sparkling water.
It's like the taste of summer in a glass. I love this drink. So we're now actually in Piazza Navona, one of the most beautiful squares in all of Rome. It has 3 different fountains here and then this beautiful church in the background. There's a ton of different bars and restaurants. This is a really vibey area. It might be a little bit more expensive to have a drink here because location, 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 but I think it's worth it. Buongiorno, this morning we're going to the Vatican. We're gonna pay a visit to the Pope. We got some brekkie for along the way because the Vatican is a little bit outside of the main area of the city center, and this is a really beautiful walk to do. We're actually right now in the Piazza Venezia, which is home to this incredible building right behind me. This was built by the King of Italy to celebrate the unification of the country. He was really happy and proud of it and wanted a big, flashy, fancy monument to celebrate. Anyways, I think it is the perfect spot for some pastries. Regoli Pasticceria. They have incredible pastries. Look at this. This is a Sicilian cannoli from the island of Sicily in the south of Italy. It is very crunchy on the outside. It has a ricotta cheese filling and pistachio and candied fruits on the outside. Oh my god. And it's so nice and sweet. Ooh. Now let's go and meet the Pope.
All over the city there's fountains with drinking waters like this one behind me. They're called nazzone, which means big nose. You can drink directly from the fountain, but there's a little trick to it. I'm only medium successful. I think I need some more practice.
Behind me is the Vatican. This is where the Pope lives. Forbes actually listed the Pope as the 5th most powerful person in the entire world. Aside from that, the Vatican is also the smallest nation in the world. It's about the size of Times Square, but there's only 882 people living in here. They have a hell of a time here though, because it's been estimated that the residents of the Vatican consume more wine per capita than anywhere else in the world. This is St. Peter's Square, the heart of Vatican City. That right there is one of the most popular, one of the most famous buildings probably in all of Rome, St. Peter's Basilica. It's the largest Christian church in the entire world. We're gonna go visit there in a little bit, but first we're going into the Vatican Museums. The queue to get into the Vatican Museums is massive. This line wraps all the way around the corner over there. If you have to wait out here, you're gonna be spending 2 or 3 hours just hanging about to get in. We are not going to do that. We got skip the line tickets on Get Your Guide, which means we get to skip this entire queue. Someone is just going to walk us right up to the entrance. We scan our ticket and boom, we're in. Get Your Guide is a website that we use to book all our tours and activities. It's where we get all our skip the line tickets as well. Honestly, you need these so bad when you come to Rome, or you're gonna lose a ton of time. I'll make a list for you down in the description box of all the tickets that we bought to make it really easy for you. The Vatican Museums are where the Louvre meets Buckingham Palace, only this kingdom is built on faith. It's estimated this collection is worth over $15 billion. 20,000 pieces handpicked by countless popes over the last 500 years. You could say this is God's private gallery.
This place is incredible. It's one of the most beautiful palaces in all of Europe. Every corner we round, I just say, wow. I actually recently watched a video by like a bigger YouTuber, and he said, like, the one place to skip is the Vatican. I wish I didn't come here. Like, it blows my mind that you would not come here.
Sometimes it gets really crowded. There are certain points where like people around you are everywhere and you're just following the crowd through these long corridors. Now we could have avoided this by just following our own advice. Go early in the morning or late in the afternoon, which we didn't do. So right around the corner here is the Sistine Chapel, one of the most beautiful and famous spots in the Vatican. It was named after Pope Sixtus, built in the 15th century, and it's world famous because Michelangelo spent 4 years of his life painting the ceiling here. The frescoes are just incredible. Now what's actually really interesting is that the Pope recently passed away a few weeks ago, and here in the Sistine Chapel is where all the cardinals of the church would then meet up to decide who gets to be the new Pope. It's kind of like a fancy voting booth in a way. And once a new Pope has been selected, there is white smoke coming from the chimneys of the Vatican, and then they say Habemus Papam, which is Latin for we have a new Pope.
I think they should have elected me as the new Pope. I still can't believe they didn't call me. I was right here in Rome.
And then here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the mother of all churches, smack in the middle of Vatican City. St. Peter's Basilica is dedicated to St. Peter. He's actually buried underneath the church, right there underneath the main altar. You can probably fit about 10 regular-sized churches into this one. It's built in the Renaissance style with statues, gold, marble everywhere, and also underneath the cathedral, over 90 of the previous popes of the Vatican are actually buried. So it's pretty cool to think that right underneath these marble floors is just so many famous names. I read that when there are sermons here in the church, it can hold 60,000 people standing or 20,000 seated.
Similar to a rock concert.
It kind of is.
Imagine that. We've come to the Via del Corso, which is one of the main streets here in Rome. It runs all the way from the Piazza del Popolo to where we were this morning, the Piazza Venezia. And now we're gonna grab some lunch, something a little bit different. Here on the Via del Corso you'll find one of the most famous and, in my opinion, best sandwich shops in all of Italy. It's called Al Antico Vinaio. We actually had the sandwich before in Florence, where the original location is, and they've since expanded it. And this is my sandwich called Tartufo Due. It has some truffle, pecorino cream, and some spicy eggplants. Salute! This is just the best sandwich ever. I think even better than I remember. Like every time I have it, it's like, wow.
Now, I think it's really important to keep it real, and I have to admit, Rome can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. But the important thing is to know when to pace yourself.
I'm gonna spend a little bit of time looking for a nice local restaurant, because what I hate most is kind of like going to a tourist trap.
This is the Piazza del Popolo. In English, the square of the people is dominated by these two twin churches right behind me. Even by Roman standards, this is an incredible square. Up there is supposed to be one of the most beautiful and largest parks in all of Rome. So you and I are gonna see, because I kind of need a break from all the noise. This is a real big city that has millions of people living here. Just like you would in New York or any other big place, there's gonna be some downsides, but the key is to know where to look for the magic. So these are the grounds of Villa Borghese. This is actually the largest park in all of Rome, and it's considered the green lung of the city. Walking around here, you would never say that we're actually only a few steps away from the super busy Piazza del Popolo. These gardens are totally free to enter, and it is super tranquil, super peaceful, a totally different vibe. I absolutely love it here.
Okay.
Grazie. Thank you. Oh,
Ole.
thank you. Ciao.
Don't tell Naick about this, okay? Just between you and me.
Time for dinner. We're having a small little appetizer. Well, it's not exactly small. This is called burrata. It's one of my favorite things to eat in Rome. I come a little bit closer to have a look at this. Well, I cut this open. This is a type of cheese. It's a bit like mozzarella, 10 times better, because when you cut this open, all the gooey cheese just comes out. Look at this. That hits the spot. Look how good the main dish looks. Kim has the ossobuco, which is a braised veal shank in a sauce of white wine and broth. The roasted lamb, which is actually very typical also for the Rome region of Lazio. A little bit of meat sauce.
If you want to know more about the best foods to try in Rome, go watch our Rome food tour right here. If you want to know what mistakes to avoid when traveling to Italy, go watch this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao!